order to live well, to know who we are and what we are, so that we can decide who and what we are in this physical expression. So welcome, welcome, welcome. It's good to see you all. Vanessa, will you play that video that I sent you? Okay, so we're going to start this. I'm going to play just a little short video, just to, it's a short, so it's about 30 seconds, but I talk fast, but this person I think talks as fast or faster than me. So I don't expect you to get all of it, but it's kind of more for the point of what you can pick up, more than just every word he's saying, but for the point, just for you to get a little perspective. So I'm going to play that real quick and yep.
Oh, there's technical stuff I gotta do to play this.
Okay, well then if it's that big, then don't worry about it. Okay, don't worry about it. All right, we'll move on to something else. So
I could share it in the chat so people can watch
it. It's not so much. It's okay. All right.
Okay.
All right, so it's okay. No, don't worry about it. Okay, so we'll move on from that. That was going to be kind of like our little warm up, but essentially, it's okay. We'll get to it in the other part. I'll just come back around the back way. All right. Does anybody remember? I don't know if my mom, well, I don't know if she's still on here now, but she probably is. But I remember when I was little, at my great grandmother's house for Easter. I remember they used to have an Easter egg hunt in front of her house. And if any of us remember Easter egg hunts, especially when we were little, when we were young, those were pretty cool, right? Because you're doing the eggs and you're finding them and all the other things, right? And that's what this class today is called, right? The Easter egg hunt. And throughout the week, the class is kind of forming in my mind like a weather system. It's kind of flowing and forming in my mind as things are going on during the week of what I want to talk about, what I think we need to know, combination of a little bit of everything. And one of the things that I want to discuss today is kind of that concept of that Easter egg hunt. So if we remember, like I said, when we do that Easter egg hunt, and now the people put the eggs down and all the other stuff, and then you come and find them. I want you to really think about that process. When you're on that Easter egg hunt as a, usually more of a young person, right? When you find that egg, when you find one of those eggs, what the questions I ask are not because I think you know the answer or I expect you to, but they're to stimulate your mind into thinking about just the repetition of thinking, the muscle of thinking, being able to put things together, right? And so it's not about having the right answer or the exact answer, but to really start being able to think, right? So when a person finds that egg that has been put there before they got there, and now they show up and they go on the Easter egg hunt, when they find that egg, what is that called? What is a word for that? What's a word for that?
Discovery. Sparkle Baby said. Discovery.
Cassidy, what's a word for that? What word can you think of?
Monique said joy.
Joy, okay.
Excitement.
Excitement. Okay. So, okay. Discovery, joy, okay. Give me one. Somebody else give me another one.
Victory.
Victory. Okay. I'm going to give you another word.
Yeah.
Everybody see that word? Invention. It's an invention. What is the word invent, or what is invention? What does that word mean?
Let me put something new. June Marie did say mission accomplished.
Okay. Anybody know what the word invention means?
For some reason, all I keep thinking about is you being like in veneno to bring what is in and out. That's all I can think of. That's all I can think of. I don't know. I might be wrong.
Okay.
Is it the opposite of prevention?
All right. Okay.
Cassie said to create,
Okay.
and Shimona wrote discover.
Okay. What does discover mean?
To stumble upon.
To stumble upon. So if you, and that's correct. That's what invention means, to stumble upon. So if you stumbled upon something, did you create it?
No, you just found it.
You just found it. So therefore, it must have already
Been there.
been there. So why are the kids looking for the eggs?
Because they were already there.
Because they know they're already there. They don't, right? They don't know where they are, but they do know that they are. Right? That is discovery. Right? It means to discover. It means to uncover something you already know exists. Right? That's what the original word for discovery was, informant. You're telling something that you already know. You are discovering it. Like when someone's in the bed and you take the covers off, you are discovering. You're pulling something off of something you already know that's there. You're not creating it. You're not just finding out. Right? So those kids are discovering, right? They are inventing, meaning they're stumbling upon something that already exists. Right? So saying that to say, right, we're not creating anything. Everything already exists.
Oh, and I did want to say, Shimona did say new awareness when you guys were talking about that. And I thought that was a really good way of saying it also.
Mm-hmm. Because that's why we stumble upon it, because it exists, but we're unaware. We didn't know. Like when we walk around the house sometimes in the dark and step on something, we wouldn't have stepped on it if we knew. But just because we didn't know doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means we're unaware. So to invent does not mean to create. It means to stumble upon. To discover does not mean to create. It means to stumble upon. Right? So everything already exists. That's one of the first things we have to understand when you're learning how to think, when you are increasing your awareness, what you have to begin to understand, and what you start to naturally understand as you make this a lifestyle, you start to understand that what it said in the book, creation is finished, is actual fact. Creation is finished. But creation begins where? Where does it begin?
In the mind.
In the mind. When you get an idea, where does it come?
Your brain.
In the same place. It comes from the same place. But it's almost like just think about your mind like a house, like a really big house. Everything is already in it. But then one day you walk into something that you didn't know was there. Maybe your kids left something on the ground or on the couch. Maybe you stepped on something or in something. Right? You become acquainted with something that is there already that you were unaware of. But it's there. It's in there. It's there. When you have an idea, it's not that you're creating it. It already exists. But now that idea, or an earlier, like we were having an earlier conversation this morning, an idea or your desire is just your awareness stumbling upon something. It's alerting you to something. It's letting you know now. It's letting your mind know that something existed that it didn't know before. Not that it was just created. It's letting you know that there's something here that you were unaware of before. It's your consciousness dilating. The light is coming on. Now you see something. You have a different vision. You're more focused on something, not because it just happened, but because it's already there. It's always been there. You just were unaware of it. Right? So to discover, to invent just means to stumble upon. It means your consciousness now becomes aware of something that it didn't know before. Creation is finished. So your desires, your inventions, what you call creations, are actually just increases of awareness. They are just an intensifying of your consciousness. It's an alertness of your consciousness. It's your consciousness being alerted to something. Right? So, saying that to say this now. Any type of information you get, good or bad, does the same thing. But it's better to get good information so that it will do so-called a good thing. But information that is given to you is designed to do what?
Stimulate like your creativity, your unique creativity, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
Increase
Like you
your
can improve
awareness.
it.
Somebody said increase awareness.
Yeah.
That is essentially correct. See, everything is already in you, but you only see based on your level of consciousness. You only know and understand what you have been acquainted with. So you have the ability to know and understand anything and everything, but only that which you're acquainted with. That's why we teach our kids how to read. What we're really doing is acquainting them with an understanding of how to do something, but the ability is already there. But that ability will never be tapped. It'll never be used or turned on until they become acquainted with something, until they are given access or an opportunity with something that turns on that ability. Go ahead.
Jean Marie said that's why it's great to be open to learn and grow.
It's the only way you learn and grow.
Right.
Now you can do it. I said that. I don't know. I don't know if I said it. I said it to somebody this week. I said, you're going to learn no matter what you're going to learn, but you can learn or you can learn the hard way, but you're going to learn. It is inevitable. You will learn or you will learn the hard way. You will learn how to cross the street or you will learn the hard way how to cross the street. And if the way is too hard, that'll be the last thing you learned, but you learned. Right? You are going to learn. Learning is involuntary. As far as life is just going to do that. Even if you're in the middle of the desert by yourself, there's things you're just going to learn. There's things that are going to happen that are going to increase your level of consciousness, awareness to what's going on around you and your relationship to those things. So we're constantly learning. That's a part of our experience, right? But how we learn is voluntary. We can choose to make a conscious effort to learn, to open ourselves up to things, or we will learn the hard way as a result of our lack of consciousness or our unwillingness to learn. We will just now learn the hard way. It's almost like the police knocking at your door. You can let them in, but if they want to get in, they're just going to come in the hard way, right? There are certain things that we can choose how we do it, but the outcome will be the same. We are going to learn. We can either learn voluntarily or we can learn involuntarily, called the hard way. Right? So all information is designed to awaken your awareness, which then expands your consciousness, what you're aware of. It is designed to turn your consciousness to that thing. Because in order for you to do that thing, you have to be conscious. You have to first be aware. You have to be alive, right? And then you have to be conscious of this thing that you now have access to read or to ride a bike. So when you're teaching your kid how to read, when you're teaching your kid how to ride a bike, when you're teaching someone how to program something, what you're really doing is you are providing access to this thing that allows the gifts and the natural things they have inside of them to now it turns their consciousness to this thing and allows that all the gifts they have inside of them to focus on this thing, and therefore it becomes alive to them. Then they can so-called read. Then they can so-called ride the bike. But that comes from you providing access to it. We're not really teaching them anything the way we think we are. Meaning we're not teaching as far as putting something in. We're really teaching by providing the opportunity and the access. We're really pulling something out. Is really what we're doing. We're pulling something out. The ability to read, the ability to ride the bike, the ability to swim, the abilities are already there. But those abilities lie dormant until we provide access to the opportunity that requires that ability to awaken. That ability is already there. The desire in your heart for something, that desire, whatever it is already a real thing. Reality is consciousness. That's the only reality. If somebody is dead, so to speak, if they're unconscious, they don't have a reality. They're not aware to anything. Their reality is changed. In order to have the physical reality we're talking about, we have to have a certain level of consciousness. When we sleep, there's a level of consciousness, we're less aware, right? If we're in a coma, we're less. If we're dead, we're less, so to speak, right? If we're alive, we are the most. We're conscious. Everything requires our consciousness in order to become alive in our life. So information, when provided access to it, awakens our awareness. It increases our level of it. So that therefore, whatever is required on the inside to have the relationship with that becomes deployed, becomes employed or applied, right? It awakens. I'm up now. I understand now, right? But we're not teaching someone how to do something as far as putting it in. We are teaching, meaning we are providing access to something that allows that to be pulled out from inside. Because you can never ride the bike for your kid. You can never swallow for them. You can never blink for them. You can never read for them. You can read to them. You can ride with them. But you cannot do it for them. So it's not actually something you're giving them. It's something they already have within them that you're giving access to the opportunity for that which is in them, within them, to become alive, for them to become aware of that ability that they have within. Right? That is why it's important what information you listen to. Almost like a radio station or a TV station. Whatever you're listening to or looking at, that's the information you're getting. And then that's what you're going to have the opportunity to grow on, to grow with, and grow by. So if you want a certain outcome, then you look for a certain information that gives you access to pull that out of yourself. Right? If you want to be a good reader, then you constantly are reading. You're constantly, whether it's on the screen or whether it's on a book, you're constantly giving yourself access to something that makes you read. Right? If you want to be a good this, we talked about last week, we talked about strength and conditioning. We talked about programming. We talked about renewing. It's consistent access to something that you want to now pull out of you as a skill, as an awakened ability. The ability is already there, it's just dormant. So anytime, like when I'm working with people, a lot of times I tell them, I'm talking to you I'm talking to you like I'm pulling something out, not like I'm putting something in. So I'm talking to you with a different level of expectation, because even though you may not see yourself a certain way, I see you that way because I understand that whatever you think it takes to be what you want to be is already in you. It's not something I'm giving you. I'm not giving you the skill. I'm giving you the information for that skill to be awakened, that ability to be awakened, that idea of yourself to be awakened. That's all you need, because all you ever will be and all you ever could be and all you ever need is already within you. So essentially, your desires are like Easter eggs. And your consciousness and so information is designed to wake up your consciousness. Like those kids are aware, they're awake that there's eggs out here. So they pursue them more fervently, more vigorously, more purposefully, because they know there's something. If you don't know, you just kind of walk around and you're not expecting anything. You're just doing whatever you do. Now, you could walk in and find an egg because you were getting ready to water the lawn and you look back there and behind a rock, there was a little egg. You'd be like, oh, what is that? You could find one just as much as the kid, but you probably find it later, if at all, but definitely later. And you would find it and you would wonder what it was, but you could still find it just like that kid who was looking for it on purpose. But the point is that when you're unconscious, your awareness doesn't allow you to find things as quickly. It doesn't allow, because you're not conscious of it. You're not looking for it. Your desire is there to arrest your consciousness, to awaken your consciousness, to alert your consciousness of, hey, this thing already exists. This discovery, this idea, this invention already exists. So that's what your dream is for, your desire is for, your idea is for, your invention is for. It's the awakening of your consciousness to something that already exists. And so information, what we do here on Saturdays, or any good information you get from anywhere, any information, period. But what we're talking about specifically, this information of any kind from anywhere, what it's designed to do is to awaken your consciousness, your awareness to something, so that you can start focusing on it, so that you can look intently, focused intensely for something, right? In this case, to remember and realize and recognize and become increasingly aware of who you are on purpose, so that you're not stumbling around the dark, stepping on something that already exists, slipping on something that already exists. You become more aware of things because you're purposely looking for something. That's what information is designed to do of any kind. But that's why, like I said a minute ago, it's important that you're paying attention to what information you're listening to where you're getting it from, to what is its outcome should you find it, should you accept it, should you pursue that. What do you become as a result of that? What can you become as a result of that? Because it's turning your consciousness on, it's turning your attention on. Everything and everyone outside of you is fighting for your attention. If anybody ever been sitting on a couch and, anybody ever been in a room with someone who's sitting on the couch watching something, and you call their name, and they're so into what they're watching they don't hear you, and you call their name and they don't hear you, and you're like, hey, and they kind of snap out of it, right? Well, the reason we keep calling their name is not because their body is not there. It's because we know until they turn their head, we don't have their attention. We innately understand that their body is not them. Just them being there physically is not good enough. Everything is based on your attention and what you give your attention to, because your attention is you. Your consciousness is you. So whatever you're giving, whatever you're using it for and on, you're giving life to. You are bringing that in as a part of your experience. Is there anything anybody wants to say?
Sparkle Bailey repeated, everything and everyone outside of you is fighting for your attention. I think that one made her brain wheels turn a little.
Yeah, well, long before, right? Long before social media, right? Long before.
And Gavin responded with, reminded me of someone.
Right? Long before even social media, which is fighting for your attention, long before then, look at Vegas. Look at how they kept your attention. No clocks, right? And you just sit there in this warped time, and you're just there until you win or you lose, right? But they will keep you there as long as they could. They'll feed you. They'll give you everything they can to keep you there, right? As long as they have your attention, they have you. You are your attention. You are consciousness. Wherever you divert that, wherever you place that, that is where you're placing your power, right? That's why everything and everyone is fighting for it. Your body is not you. It is yours, but it's not you. That's why people keep calling you until they get your attention. That's why people say, pay attention, right? They want you. They want the power that you are. Without your attention, they don't have you. Without you being aware, you don't have it, even though it exists. Whatever it is, health, success, whatever it is you want. Without your awareness of it, it exists, but not to you. The world exists, but not to a dead person. The world exists, but not even to a sleeping person. At a certain levels of consciousness, the world doesn't exist. So the world that exists for you is a reflection of your consciousness. What it is you're aware of, what it is you're aware of, and what your relationship to that is. That is the experience that you're having and the expression of that experience. Does everyone understand that? Is that clear?
Yes, very.
Does anybody have any questions or anything about that before I keep moving forward, or comments, questions, anything like that?
It's interesting, Coach Lucky, that you mentioned the whole casino thing and the fighting for your attention thing, because that just kind of like shocked me. It was like the shock value of it. It just kind of woke me up. Like everything is a distraction, potentially a distraction. Some people are aware that they're distracting you. Some people are not aware. A lot of people are not aware. They just think that they're just asking a question or they're just making a statement or whatever the case, but they're really fighting for your attention or your support in their direction. And that's powerful. That's power, that we all have those abilities. That's a deep type of power. I really appreciate these calls every week, like just the reminders. Like I just appreciate it a lot.
Good, 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 good. My pleasure. Good, good. Okay.
Crystal clear.
Crystal clear? Okay. Good, good, good. All right. Anything else? Anyone else? Okay. Okay. So that's important, right? All right. Next thing. Let's see here. Let's see. Who can I?
Cassidy.
Yeah, I was coming that way. Yeah, I was coming that way. Yeah, that's good. You and your brother will have something to talk about after this weekend.
I was already saying Cassidy. It's only
Oh
because
yeah,
I was
I was
guessing
coming
it.
that way too. I
I knew
was.
it.
You the star of the show. Star of the show. Okay. So now this is for all of us. I want us to understand a very important point. All right, Cassidy. So imagine, right, that you are like, okay, so have you ever been on an airplane before?
No pressure.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. So before you went on that airplane, right? Did you know the name of the pilot?
No, I did not.
Did you know the name of the crew? Like
No,
the
I did not.
stewardesses and stewards? Okay. Did you know, and when I say no, I mean specifically, exactly, and correctly. Did you know what time you were going to arrive at where you were going?
No.
Did you know how high you were going to fly in the air? We're
No.
at 30,000 feet, right? No. Did you know what flight route they were going to take?
No.
Did you know who put your bags on the plane? If you checked the bag, did you know who put your bags on that plane? Okay. Now, any of us who were on a plane, did any of us know those answers?
Maybe an estimated ETA.
Yeah, but that's estimated. That's not exact. No, I'm talking about exact.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I'm talking about exact. The answer is pretty.
We just knew somebody would do it. We didn't know who. We just knew it would get done.
Okay. Okay. So then essentially, what are you doing? What you just said right now, what is that? There's a word for that.
Trust.
What is that? Huh?
Trust,
Trust,
belief.
belief. And okay, that is exactly right. Trust, belief, prayer, faith. In who?
I was going to say confidence, but
Confidence, yes. Yes. Confidence.
In the company that we signed up with, so JetBlue or United or whoever.
Okay, who is JetBlue? Who is that? Can you see him on the street? Who is that?
So it's a business.
It's a business. It's an entity, right? So now you're trusting an entity, not even a person now. So
a system.
So now it's not even an entity. It's just a system now. Do you see how this is devolved? How this is devolving? See how this is going down, right? When you really start looking at it, yet we put, what do we say? Trust, belief, faith, hope in what exactly? Like, actually, what are we putting this in?
Other people's experience, other people's testimonials of a system.
Okay. Well, and other people to do their job and all the other stuff, right? So let me get this straight. You put your life on the line and all your stuff on the line with a system. That's what we're saying. Essentially, is that what we're saying?
Because we have proof they did it before.
Who is they?
I don't know.
Right. You guys, no, you don't know. You don't know. We don't know. I don't know. We don't know. Yet we do. We don't know, yet we do something even without that knowledge.
We're just trusting stats.
We're trusting something. Stats, somebody's referral, like your brother says, oh, okay, you should fly this because of that, or right. We're trusting something. So then what does that tell you about trust?
My perspective on that question is all it takes is a few good reviews or a few good recommendations, and you can get a lot of people to buy into something.
Okay, that is true. What else? So then, okay, what else? Somebody else tell me. What does that tell you about trust?
There's it's a 50-50 chance that it could go right, and then there's a 50-50 chance that it could go wrong.
Depending on what?
How that person feels.
Who is that person?
In the industry. The industry is a person.
Right? So then that 50-50 then becomes who you're putting your trust in, what you're putting your trust in. Right? But you don't even know these people. But yet we fly. So then what it's telling you is several things. Number one, trust is conditional. There's places you'll put it and places you won't. There's times you use it, times you won't.
I don't trust Spirit.
I've been on Spirit. I thought it was wonderful. I thought I had the time of my life. I said, this is the most ratchet thing I have seen in person, several thousand, tens of thousands of feet up in the air.
It took you to point A to point B. That's all it's there for.
Frontier is more ratchet.
Cardboard
Frontier is more ratchet than Spirit, y'all. Stay away from Frontier.
Yeah,
guess what?
It's the worst.
I will be on there having the time of my life. I said, this is insane.
It's like soul plane.
It was just a wonderful thing. That was
I
wonderful.
only went on one plane my entire life. One plane. I don't know which one it was, but I'd rather have that one because it was a smooth flight. Point A to point
this
B.
wasn't smooth. There was nothing smooth about that one. When I went on Spirit, I said, what is going on here? Woo!
I heard people's Spirit reviews. Man, that was like a comedy show. It kept getting worse.
And it's not fabricated at all. It's pretty wild. But anyway, point is, right?
Sorry.
Right. But the point is, right? The point is that trust becomes conditional. Who are we putting it in? What are we believing for? But we still fly. So the second thing becomes then we become conditioned we become conditioned about what we need to know and what we don't. In order to get something done, we have been conditioned to believe that certain things matter and certain things don't. Because if we had to have all these answers, none of us would be flying. And if you started getting on the plane asking for all these answers, you wouldn't be flying. Or unless you were flying back on that carpet, they'd be tossing you up out of there, right? If you asked for all these answers, you wouldn't be flying. If you had to have all these answers, you wouldn't be flying. Yet we fly. So the point is that even the things we think we know are not even, or the things we think we know are not even our own idea. They're just things that we have been conditioned to ask for or be okay with not knowing. We went from trusting a person, but we couldn't identify that. Then we went from trusting a company, but we couldn't really identify who that was. Then we went to a system and we definitely don't know who that is. So we don't know who's touching our stuff. We don't know who is putting our stuff somewhere. We don't know any of these people or any of these things. We don't know anything yet. We're going somewhere.
Just saying that when I'm talking about that 50-50, it's like it's 50% that your luggage or whatever it is could be okay. Mm-hmm. And then the second, everything could just be messed up, basically. I don't know if anybody in the meeting has had an experience like that where it was you had your luggage perfectly set up. I'm talking shoes was here, shirts was there, and then sooner than later, you get your luggage off the plane, and it's just messed up. I don't know who that happened to.
Have you ever, when you're on the plane and waiting for it to take off and you're looking out the window, have you ever seen the people put the bags on there? It's like an NBA game. They throwing around the back passes. They shooting hook shots with it. They're doing all kind of stuff with that luggage. They're going under the leg. They're going behind the back. There's all kind of stuff happening with that luggage. You'd be happy you get it. When I think it was a sophomore in college, we were going to play Oklahoma State, showed up and there was no luggage at all. I had to practice in some shell toe Adidas with some ankle braces on.
Wow.
Because our stuff didn't come, and it didn't come until the next morning. Oh man. Oh, out there with some shell toes playing basketball. Yeah, it didn't work. Feet hurting like I was 700 years old. Right? Missed the whole luggage. Didn't even make it to Stillwater. Didn't make it. Right? But point being is that we are what we call trust, right? Becomes conditional. Who we're placing it in, what we're placing it in, right? And then it becomes, there's certain things. How can we even trust? How can you even trust somebody? You don't even know these people. You don't even know who the people are. You don't even know if they're people. After a while, you don't know if a machine did it, a person did it. You don't know. There's so many things we don't know, yet we do. My point is, we're picking and choosing what we know and don't know. We're picking and choosing what matters to know and what matters not to know. And just like we were talking about earlier, we sometimes second guess ourselves, but we won't even second guess people we don't know. But we'll second guess ourselves. We won't even question people we don't know, but we'll question ourselves. Right? We pray for something, so to speak, right? We decide we want something, we decide we want to be something, and we have the hardest time accepting our own thing because we want guarantees. How do we know? Well, I'll believe it when I see it. Nobody says that when they get on the plane. I'll believe we'll get there when we're there. If you didn't believe it that much, you probably shouldn't be here, right? We don't even have anything to attach our belief to, yet we're up in the air with all these crazy people. We're up in the, nowhere to go and no way to get there. We're just stuck in the air. And we put our most valuable possession, our life, right, in the hands of people, places, things, companies, systems that we have no idea what they are. And like I used to tell kids when I taught, sorry doesn't fix everything. Plane crashes, oh, we're so sorry. What does that do? Right? And we put our most valuable possession with people and places and things that we have no idea of what they are, who they are, or anything else. Right? And what I'm saying is that that's only because we've been conditioned on, okay, we can trust this person as a doctor. We can trust this person. Before they were a doctor, they're a person. That could be if you saw that person in the grocery store, you probably wouldn't even want to talk to them. You probably walk away from these people as people, but they put a coat on, we believe it.
Like, stop, I'm fighting Sunday.
Right? We believe it. Right? And just saying I'm about to say, right? But we're putting our trust in these people to get from point A to point B. Right? And I'm just saying that we don't know who we're putting our trust in. We don't even know where we're putting our trust in. We don't know any, but we've been conditioned for that not to matter. And what I'm saying is, to get to this next point is, when you desire something and you decide that you want to be or do or have something, who is that trust in?
Yourself.
Okay. Does anybody have any other ideas? Who are you putting your trust in?
The airline people,
No, I'm talking about your own desire for something. Like yours may be for
Self.
Say it again.
Self.
So then what's the problem?
Okay, I got a question. It's not a question, it's kind of like this is where I've been blocked. Okay. So I put my trust, and I was just talking to Latoya about this last night. My trust in, like you said before, like I need to feel safe. I need to feel these things before I jump out there and make Sparkle Bailey this, worldwide name. I need to know that I'm protected. I need to know that I have the security first, because I don't feel safe in these spaces, or I might react this way, or blah, 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 blah. So based on what you're saying, it's like I'm trying to figure out, based on what you're saying, Coach Lucky, if I need to have the mentality that I mentioned in the chat. Like when I get on the plane and the plane gets ready to take off, in my mind, we're all dependent on each other. If anything happens, like I got your back, you got my back. Like we don't have any other option. So we all signed up to be here. So we have to do what we have to do. There is no other option. We all signed up for this. But if I take that same mentality and equate it to my business goals, I'm listening at this point. I don't have nothing else to say because that's where I've been stuck.
So let's get this straight. When I get on the plane, I'm not dependent on anybody. I'm dependent on me. I don't know what you think, how you feel, where you're coming from, what your beliefs are. I don't know what those are. That's your business. I don't care if it's my daughter. I teach her how to think. I have the same conversation with her all the time, but I'm not relying on her for my safety. She never signed up for that. Meaning in the sense of she never signed up to be God to me, right? And we never signed up to be God to our kids. We do the best we can, so to speak, right? But my point is that the reason all of us are not afraid of the same thing. So if I'm afraid of something and you're not, that means my fear is individualized. That means it's not something to be, when we all look up on August and we see the sun, nobody says they don't see it. It's not an individual thing. We all see it. We all can feel it, right? So then if there's a difference in feeling from me to you, then that means there's a different thought pattern that's causing that feeling, right? And so that means what you feel is unsafe, I may feel is perfectly safe. So when I say I'm not getting on the plane depending on anyone, I understand that, what does it say? Whatever you desire, when you pray, believe you have received it and you will. All of the yous in there are singular. There is no they, there is no them, there's no outside, there's none of that. There is one God, meaning one consciousness, there's one authority, there's one power that does everything. What does it say? I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. I am the Lord, I am the law. I am. Consciousness is what wounds or heals according to what is perceiving it or believing itself to be. That is the directive you're giving it by what you are saying or believing to be so. I am safe. I'm not safe. I'm wealthy. I'm not wealthy. I'm struggling. I'm thriving. Those are thoughts that are now basically declarations and decreances to the power in you to say, let there be. You're saying, let there be. If I'm saying let there be, I'm saying let there be, let me get there safe, on time, or early. I'm not saying what you saying, what he's saying, what she's saying. I don't know what anyone is saying. And guess what? I don't have to know, don't need to know, don't care to know. That if my life is in the hand of something else or someone else or some other power, the reason we fear anything is because we believe there's an alternate power. Let me say it. We believe there's a power that is different or as powerful or equal, or there's an alternative. There's only one power. There's only one thing we call God. You can call it 1,000 things, but it's still one thing. There's only one. And that thing is consciousness. Now, when we condition it, it's like putting on clothes. Like if none of us had clothes on, we all put clothes on now based on how we want to present ourselves, how we want what we're going to do that day, right? Clothes on the body are like, is an emotional, the equivalent of clothes is identity. You're putting on an identity. And according to how you dress yourself, that is what you are preparing to experience, how you're preparing to be received, how you're preparing to present yourself, right? And so when you clothe yourself in safety, it's an inside job. You are deciding how you dress. You are deciding how you identify yourself with this world. This world is not here to do anything to us. It's only expressing what we're doing. At 3 in the morning, just say pretty much everywhere around the world at 3 in the morning, what's happening?
Sleeping.
So what's happening?
That's what Sparkle
Okay.
said before sleeping, but right before that, she has said the reason we fear anything is because we believe there is an alternate power.
Yes.
This is what
Yes.
you said.
Yes. When we always talk about it, I am is what people call God. Your consciousness is God, meaning your consciousness is the highest level of authority. Whatever consciousness is believing itself to be is what becomes physical in the world. Okay. When we talked about inventions, ideas, dreams, desires, where are those coming to? Where are they coming from? Your consciousness. They're saying and that thing is coming to your mind to say, oh, do you want that? So then whatever you say yes to becomes part of your physical world. It already exists, but not without your consciousness, not without your awareness. So that is the highest level of thought, the highest level of authority, right? So now whatever you're claiming that to be, whatever you're using that to say, let there be safety, that means if, let's just use it this way. Let's just use the old school word God. Let's just use it just to keep it simple. We understand that is not outside of us, that's in us. That is who we really are. What people call that. We are made in the image and likeness. In this physical form, we are made in the image and likeness. It means not physically, it means that we operate the same way in this body as we did before we got in it. But let's just call that God. When is God not? I'm saying it this way. When is God not?
Never.
Never. Where is God not?
Nowhere.
When is God afraid?
Never.
What is God afraid of?
Nothing.
Why not?
Because he is. We are. I am.
He's him.
All
Okay.
knowing.
It's all knowing what? That's true. But we're talking about a plane. We're talking about business. We're talking about a health. It's all knowing what?
Itself.
Itself. And it knows itself as what?
God.
As the creator of anything you would so-called be afraid of. Why would you be afraid of something you created? Who here in their right mind has created some kids and they're afraid of?
Mother.
Right? I can only imagine your mother because I can imagine my mother. Mom, I just turned 48 last week. My mom is still threatening me. Did you do what I tell you to do? Did you call those people back? Now, where you been? I called you 3 times. Did you answer the phone? Where are you? Like my mom is not like that in my business, but my mom just likes to sweat me when she can get me on the phone. She's telling everybody what to do at all times, right? So when we create something, why will we be afraid of anything that we create? If you make a knife, you know what you made it for. Why would you use it against yourself? If you made that knife and put it on the counter, when did it jump off? Is it now going to jump off the counter and come at you? Right? You're the reason you're not afraid is because you're the creator of everything and anything that you could possibly be afraid of. So therefore, there's never any reason to fear it as God. When we are in our right mind thinking, knowing who we are, God, what we're using old school connotatively, is not a he or a she. It is consciousness. Consciousness is not gender driven. Consciousness has been personified as a gender so that people could understand how it operates. Right? Things have been personified as genders, but they're not. Father Time is not really a dude. Mother Nature is not really a woman. It's not, but they're personified as things, but they're not those things, right? So saying that to say all those things were created by this same consciousness. The weather, the time, like I said last week, tarot cards, astrology, the moon, Saturn, the beach, water, whatever you could possibly want, be afraid of, like, don't like, was all created by the same consciousness, just believing itself to be different. So it creates different things, but everything is created by only one thing. So if only one thing, which was and still is you, consciousness, not the body, not the woman, not the man, not black, not white, not rich, not poor, not the physical. The physical is created by consciousness. What we call reality is not what we are expressing, it's what we're experiencing. It's consciousness believing itself and to be something, and therefore it has a physical expression of that. The expression is not self-created. So what could we possibly be afraid of if we made everything that we would even consider be afraid of? And if we made it, how insane are we to be afraid of what we made? Do we not understand it? We made it. Is it different than what we thought? We made it. Whatever it is because of what we thought. There is no alternative to that. So then if God is forever and God is everywhere and all the time and made everything, then how is it now? So now this thing I made is just going to kill me? That's what this is now? This plane I made is just going to do something against me now. That's what this is? Yeah, no, not me. So everybody on the plane with me is safe because I'm not going down, period. It's not happening. That's just not going to happen. Because if it's out of my control, then I'm not who I say I am. I don't mean physically. I mean in consciousness. Your physicality does not control anything. It only expresses the control. Control is mental. If it were physical, we couldn't have a zoo as humans. Who out here is going to catch a cheetah and put it in the zoo? Who in here is going to wrestle, whatever you want to do? Who's going to do that with a bear? Who's going to get in the water with a shark and be like, yeah, come on, follow me?
Mike Tyson.
Right? Anybody want to do that? I mean, right? Like who's going to really do that? So then the reason we have a zoo is because we have a higher level of capacity of thought that supersedes the physical, because all things physical are first mental. They're consciousness. And when you decide you are something, there's nothing to take that. When God said, let there be light, when that consciousness said, let there be light, the sun is up. Whatever it established remains established as long as it remains, and it is forever. You are forever. Your consciousness is forever. Your body changes. Is anybody here still driving the same car they had in high school? Your transportation may change, but you don't. You're still the same. Now here's this. Sparkle Bailey, here's an answer. Here's why we do that.
Dun, dun, dun.
Huh?
Whoa, we're
Dun, dun,
parachuting
dun, dun,
down
dun, dun,
from the
Right? Here we
sky.
go. So this is for
Okay,
everybody.
we're at the very
Sparkle
top
Bailey, this is
place.
coming at you, but this is for everybody. This is watch this. Watch this.
Mhm.
If Sparkle Bailey,
It's a
this is for
good thing
you,
that you saved
but
the
Sparkle
cheeky.
Bailey, this is for you, but Cassidy, you're going to be answering. If Sparkle Bailey, I know that's your mom, but we'll just say Sparkle Bailey right now for everybody else. If Sparkle Bailey is Sparkle Bailey in the house, and then she takes you and your brother in the car and you're going to the store, and she now tells you her name is Henry, then what? Say she said her name is Cindy, then what? You're in the car now, her name is Cindy now.
There's a switch up, and we kind of have to call her Cindy now.
Okay, but
why
and
Cindy?
then okay, and then so you see your brother's face, right? Right? And then would you say there's a switch up? Okay, now you go into the grocery store, and now she's Michelle.
She switched up again.
So then what does that do for you?
I kind of have to switch up as well.
How do you keep up? Then she gets back in the car. Now her name is Lauren.
Open this up.
Then what?
Baby chicken.
We got to switch to Lauren.
Open it up then.
So then all this mental switching, what do they call that in the world?
Multiple personality.
Bipolar disorder, multiple personality disorder.
Okay, right? Something ain't clicking. Right? Okay, now watch this. Confused. Watch this though. Watch this. Before, when Sparkle Bailey was in the house, she's Sparkle Bailey. When you were, I'm going to use these words. When you were in heaven, you were God. When you came in this body, who are you now? So
Still God.
you're still, so then why do we think we're confused then?
Because we be listening to everybody else.
Saying what?
Telling us who we are when we know who we are. We forgot. Like Sparkle Belly said in the comments.
So then as we describe, what happens when you keep changing your name? What happens when you forget?
You gotta switch it up.
Yeah, okay, but switching it up, does that help? Is it helping?
Negative.
We're attaching disorders to all this switching.
Right.
Right? This ain't no TV channel. Right? All this switching ain't working. Right? So when we go from one place and we're something, then we change locations, and we let an occasion change our identity, what happens?
You get lost.
You get lost. What else happens?
You start losing it a little bit and questioning yourself.
So you're lost, you're questioning,
You change.
you're disconnected. What else?
You change.
What did you change?
You settle for stuff that you shouldn't. You settle when you deserve better. Like you were born.
Who deserves better? Who deserves better?
I am.
Okay, but I am is not here. Your name is Lauren now. You've changed your name. You've changed your identity. You've changed your concept because you changed locations.
I thought it was Derek. I mean,
I don't know. It's so many names I can't keep up.
I thought it was,
and I'm questioning. I'm lost.
I'm lost.
We all are. That's why we act like animals and savages. That's why we're afraid of everything. That's why we got high blood pressure and diabetes and cancers. That's why, because God don't get that. God can't get that. It's too long to be sick that long. You're going to have cancer for eternity. Who's signing up for that one? No, it's God can't get that, but humanity can, believing itself to be something else can't. Sparkle Bailey in the house, that can't happen to her. Sparkle Bailey getting in the car and changing her name to something else because she changed locations now is eligible not for the outcome of where she is, but for the outcome of who she is. God is God at the house and on a plane. If God ain't dying in the house, God ain't dying on no plane, because God is forever. You are forever. And no matter where you go, that is still who you are. And the only reason we suffer is because we start thinking we're someone else. We change location, so we change our identity. We've come into this body and we start to really think that we're someone else now. It's because we've changed locations. But that's why we're here on Saturday, is to wake up and to remember, like, no. What did that mind say? It said, no man takes my life from me. I have the power to lay it down and take it up again. That's what Jesus, that character, that mind said in the book. No man takes my life from me, meaning no outside thing takes my life from me. So what you think, a plane gonna do it? The water gonna do it? What happened in that story when they were in that boat and the disciples were in there waking Jesus up, and because they had the winds and the waves, and they said, we're surely gonna die. Anybody remember that story? Anyone?
Yes, walking on water one.
Yes. Remember when the disciples they fed some people and Jesus sent them out in the water, sent them out on the boat. And he said, I'm going to go pray and I'll see you guys in a minute. He prayed. The next morning he came out walking no, I'm sorry. That was another story. They were in the boat. Jesus was asleep. Winds and waves came up real high. And the disciples said, we are surely going to die. Now you have to remember, half of the disciples were fishermen. By trade, by nature, by trade. That's what they did. They were literally everything but born on the water. It may have been born there, right? So to speak. So these people were not afraid of the water. They made a living on it. When a fisherman says, I'm surely going to die with this wave, you don't think they believe that? You think they were just overreacting? No, it had to get real out there. And so it got so real that they woke this cat up, Jesus up, and said, hey, do something. Well, he got the same body they got. What is he going to do that they couldn't do? Think. Know who he was. Know that I and my Father are one. And that I, before I came in this body, was my Father. And therefore, this wave that I made surely is not going to kill me. This is my kid. I made it. And what did it say? He stood up and said, peace, be still. Anybody remember that?
I remember.
Okay. So a wave in your life may be your blood pressure. Talk to it. I'm not saying don't take your medicine. I'm saying when you remember who you are, you'll start talking to it as you really are, and it will obey you. And you keep taking your medicine while you talking to it, but it will. And one day you'll look up and forgot your medicine. You'll be like, oh shoot, I forgot. And then you'll realize you forgot for 2 days, 3 days. Because you will have changed your consciousness, who you believe yourself to be. They believe themselves to be human and therefore subject to the waves. He never said that. He said, I and my Father are one. It's not me that does the work. It's my Father in me. He never forgot who he was. We have. Therefore, we're subject to the winds and waves. We're subject to cancer and blood pressure and diabetes, right? Diabetes and all the other stuff. We're subject to things that we would never be subject to in the right state of mind, knowing who we really were. But when we change our identity or believe we're something else, we become subject to that. When you go to the airport, isn't that the only thing that matters, your identity? When you go to the bank, isn't that the only thing that matters? When you go to the hospital, isn't that the only thing that just about matters? When you go to do anything, your identity is everything. It's the only thing. And if nothing else, it's the primary thing. You can't do anything until people know who you are.
Marie put in the chat, there's power in words and thoughts.
There's power in words and thoughts because you are the wordsmith and the thinker. And so your words are a reflection of your thought, and your thoughts are a reflection of who you know yourself to be. That's why Jesus was always saying something different than everybody else, because he was the only cat that knew who he was for real. They didn't know who they were, because if they would have known who they were, they would have acted just like him. Because what did he say? The law is no respecter of persons. What did it say? Let this mind that's in Christ be also in you, and you will do all the same things. Wasn't Peter walking on the water before he changed his mind? Didn't he give the disciples power over people to heal and cast out and all? They were doing the same thing, but they couldn't do it at the level and with the intensity and the consistency, because they kept thinking they were something else. When we think we're something else, that's what happens. This is what happens. We start thinking that we can die in a plane crash. No, the hell no, I cannot. Not with this consciousness, absolutely not. What does it say? Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. How does a plane crash going to do that? We're believing something else. We're believing someone else, like we said. Someone else, something else. There's only one thing to believe. There's only one power. But according to what you believe, that's how that power is expressed. You are the creator of everything, of all things. The plane, your body, the wind, the atmosphere, the stars, the sun, the moon. That's why it makes no sense to worship any of them. If Cassidy and Gavin, you walked in and your mom had in the room, and your mom had a picture of you and your brother up there, and she was on her knees worshiping you and your brother with some candles, you'd be like, she's really lost it.
Yeah.
You know,
I really, genuinely.
Yeah. You'd be like, girl, pack up your stuff. Let's go. It's time to go.
We finna go to the beach or something. We finna do some intense meditation.
Something, right? Something.
Something spiritual. Feel me?
Something.
Just put her on a podium and lift her up.
Right. Who do you think made the sun? Who do you think made the moon? Who do you think made the stars? Who do you think made all these things that we worship? You. Consciousness made it all. That's you. You're just in a human body. That's you. But we give our power away to everything else and everyone else because we don't know who we are. So since we don't know who we are, we don't realize we're giving our power away because we don't realize we're powerful.
That's what they say, the one made of many or something.
Yes, the Elohim, one made up of many. It's one. We are all of the many of us are made up of one consciousness. Why do you think all of our bodies function the same? They may look different, but they function the same. They function the same. Otherwise, you couldn't do heart transplants, couldn't do organ transplants. Color's not an issue. Things are not, the things that humans make issues are not real issues. They're not real things. They're just things that we can do. So the reason we believe something can happen on that plane is because we believe we're Sparkle Bailey and not the highest form of consciousness, and whatever I say is. I declare and decree that I'm prosperous and in good health, even as my soul prospers. If I had to say it on the flip side, I declare and decree, and I understand, and I agree with, I affirm, I agree with, no man takes my life from me. This plane ain't taking nothing from me. It's a plane. How's it going to take something from me? This won't even move without me. Somebody like me got to get in it. This thing can't move without me, so how's it going to do something to me? But when we change our identity, we change what becomes reality. So people do identity theft. They get access to things in a new or alternate identity they couldn't get in the original one. Your identity, your self-concept, what you believe of yourself is what you are, is what your world is made up of. What you, because you are the believer with the belief. You are source. You are where everything comes from, starts with and ends with. You are the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. It's you and only you, and it will only ever be you. You are the source. You are the universe. You are God. You are Allah. You are Buddha. You are Jesus. You can name it whatever you want, but it's you in your world. All of us made up makes the world. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's darn near quiet. So the world isn't doing anything. The world is just here waiting for the alive beings to do something. The world isn't doing anything. We are doing everything. That's why it's so quiet at 3 in the morning, because nobody's doing anything. Because we are the only doers. Everything else is waiting for us to do it to it or do it with it. The world is not in control of us or you or me, not in our right mind. We are in control of the world. Sun didn't make itself. The moon didn't make itself. The water didn't make itself. Those things are not self-created. The plane didn't make itself. We don't just let our kids do anything, or we don't let people that we have any authority over do anything. Then why are we letting a plane do anything? Why are we letting the economy do anything? Why are we letting this disease do anything? Why are we just letting anything do anything to us? That's not right thinking. That's not the truth. It is true. It's truly happening. You really believe it, so it's happening. But it's not the truth. That's why it doesn't feel good. That's why there's no answer for it. That's why it doesn't get better. High blood pressure is not designed to get better. Cancer is not designed to get better. There's no good way to live with it. Get rid of it. It's not designed to be lived with. Get rid of it. But if you think you deserve it because you think you're Sparkle Bailey, or you think you're Gavin, or you think you're Lucky, or you think you're Vero, or you think you're this or that, then you become eligible based on what you think. It's a long way down to go from the maker of life to making a living. We are the maker of life. We've settled now for making a living. We've settled. Because we stop thinking or realizing and knowing that we are I am. We are consciousness. We are the highest level of thought. We are the power, the only power. There's only one. The belief in an alternate is why you're getting an alternate experience. The belief in the alternate is why you're getting an alternate experience, because everything requires your belief, because you are the believer. Everything is coming off of and out of and from you. You are the source of all things. The good and the bad, the right and the wrong, the up and the down. Somebody said to me this week, oh, the world is such a crazy place. How? If everybody at 3 o'clock in the morning is asleep, the world ain't crazy, it's quiet. No, the crazy is asleep. The world ain't crazy, there ain't nothing wrong with the world. The crazy is asleep. And when the crazy wakes up, guess what? The world seems crazy. But the world is just a place for you to do something. Now it just depends on the doers. That's you. That's me. That's I am doing, believing itself to be all of us. When you know who you are and realize that there is no other, then you realize that whatever you say, just like you do in your house, Sparkle Bailey, just like you do, Monique, and all the authority you have in your life, all of us, whatever authority we have, isn't our word bond? Isn't that the highest level and there is no other? Did you hear what I said? Did you do what I said? Did you get what I said? Because I said so? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. This world is here to serve you. It is your playground to have all the experiences that you wanted to have in physical form. It's not here to do anything to you any more than a knife, than a gun, than a heater, than anything else. But in your ignorance, if you don't know how to use it, you will misuse it and it'll do something to you instead of for you. But it's not because it's designed to do that, because it's just because in your ignorance, you're using it to do that. But it's at your disposal. It's at your command. Your consciousness is the commander. It is and you have to understand it's the only one. There's not another one. There's not another one. Stop worshiping other things. Stop. They can't help you. Your degree ain't gonna help you. Your gender ain't gonna help you. Your age ain't gonna help you. Who you know and all the other stuff is not gonna help you. Oh, it may seem like it. You might get a little bump. You might feel a little, yeah, but at the end of the day, it can't. It can't long term. It's not designed to. It's like a spare tire. Yeah, you can get along with it for a little bit. How long are you gonna keep that thing on? It's not designed to go the trip with you. It's not designed to go that many miles. It's just something to get you from point A to point B until you can get the other one. Right.
Somebody say your traumas ain't gonna help you.
They ain't gonna, right? Everything is as you say it to be. As you say it to be. Right? That is what we have to understand. And so when we are worshiping things that we created, what are we doing? How are they going to help us? And they couldn't even create themselves. What you going to do for me? You might as well ask your 5-year-old to go to work for you. No, you might as well just do that. I might as well just ask my 13-year-old daughter, be like, hey, you know what? Taxes is coming up. What you got on that? You eat here too. Right? I mean, there's just, what are you going to ask? Who you created this thing? What are you asking it for? You're the creator. Everything in your physical world is here to be guided and used properly by you. But you have to know who you are. Remember who you are so that you use it properly. It's not against you, but it is in your ignorance. Electricity is not against you, but you put something in there that you shouldn't. It is in your ignorance. The ocean's not against you, but it is in your ignorance. Your ignorance is the cause of sin, the cause of error. It's the cause of all mistakes. It's a lack of understanding. It's separation, separate from knowledge. There's only one power. There's only one authority. I know in the world we got Crips and Bloods, and we got Democrats and Republicans, and we got all these, we got Black Panthers and the police. We got all these opposing focuses. But consciously, God, there's only one. That highest level of consciousness, there's only one. Now, humanity want to make up a whole bunch of other little play dates and mess around. Okay, cool. But at the end of the day, there's only one power, truly. And when you understand that, and when you understand that that is really who you are, not the flesh, but the power, your consciousness that makes the flesh alive, when you understand that's who you are, then now you decorate your consciousness. You clothe your consciousness like you clothe your body. What do you want to present? How do you want to look? How do you want to feel? When we wake up every morning and take a shower and then we have to put clothes on, we put clothes on based on how we want to look, how we want to feel, based on what our expectations of the day are, what we're getting into. Same thing, when you wake up every morning in your consciousness, what are you dressing it with? Are you dressing it with poverty? Are you dressing it with illness? Are you dressing it with stress? Are you dressing it with the plane may fall out the air? Are you dressing it with doubt? Are you dressing it with safety? What are you dressing it with? What are you clothing it with? What are you presenting yourself in the world as? When you say I am, that is essentially just your naked body, essentially. When you attach something to it, that's the clothes you're putting on it. I am safety. You now have an outfit of safety. I am this. You're now clothing yourself. And just like when you are in your right mind and you make sure you put on the proper outfit for what you're doing and where you're going, you do the same thing. When you're in your right mind, you clothe your consciousness with the things that you want to express.
Sparkle Baby like that, clothe your consciousness, bomb reminders.
Yes, you clothe it. You dress yourself in the way you want to feel, right? You dress yourself the way you want to look, right? It's the same way. You do the same thing with your consciousness. And when you clothe yourself in that, your I amness goes right through that. And so now you are going to see the physical expression of your clothing. You're going to be seen that way, spoken to that way, heard that way. You're going to feel that way. You're going to look that way of whatever you've clothed yourself with. Does everybody understand that? Any comments on that, questions on that? Okay. Okay.
Just thank you. Just thank you. Just thank you for the reminders. Thank you.
My pleasure. We must go from the affected to the effector. We must be the effect. We must realize we are it. We are the effect. We are. Our physical life does not change until we change our consciousness. Just like no one's going to see you different in your, in your work clothes until you get out of them. You're not going to see a physical change in your world until you change your consciousness, because your physical world is a reflection of your consciousness. It is not the creation of your consciousness. It is the reflection of your consciousness. The physical world is no more alive without you than that plane if you don't get in it, than that car if you don't get in it, than that house if you don't live in it. A house without, hold on one second. A house without living beings in it for a prolonged amount of time, they call that what?
Vacant.
Vacant. What else? For a prolonged period of time,
Abandoned.
abandoned. Abandoned. When you lose track of your mind temporarily, it's vacant. And if you don't get it back soon enough, it will be abandoned. And what does an abandoned house look like? What does a vacant house for too long after a while start to look like? It starts to shambles. Why? Why does a house look like that? If there's nothing in it, nothing happening, why is it doing that? Why is that?
It's degrading. It's not being,
It's being
no life
neglected.
being kept in it.
It's being
And left
neglected.
to its own devices will grow however it feels with no direction.
So it's being neglected by who? By what?
By us. And it gets
What is
distracted
us?
by nature.
Yes, but what is us? What do we represent?
The consciousness within it.
And what does consciousness represent that the house does not?
Life.
Life. Life. The plane has no life. How is it going to kill you? Right? The business has no life. How is it going to be different than you? Didn't you build a house? Didn't you build your business? Didn't you build your body? It has no consciousness without you, because you are life. Consciousness is life. Your body is not life. It's living. It's being made alive by the life itself. You're the only life. So if you're the only life, how can what you call your physical life, how can your physical life be any different than you? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say this reminded me of something that I was listening to that was talking about the mirror effect.
Mhm.
How basically everything that we see outside is a reflection of your mind. So it kind of that's it was my reaction to mirror effect, or I don't know if you've heard of it.
If all of us stepped outside right now and everybody saw you, wouldn't they see what you put on?
Your clothes, you mean?
Wouldn't they see you as you present yourself? So then, in effect, they are what?
An image of you.
An image of you. They are a reflection of you. They are seeing you as you presented yourself. And who and which one of those came first? Which one comes first?
You.
You. So if you come first and the people are only telling you what you have done, what you wore or what you said, or then the world is no different than the people. People are part of the world. Your world is only telling you what you have done first. It is mirroring you. The world is mirroring us. Your world is mirroring you. It is not before you. The mirror doesn't show you what you're going to put on. It shows you what you put on. At any point in time, you look at it. Life is not guessing for you. It's not dressing you. It's not anticipating you. It is showing you what you're doing. And what you're doing is not physical. What you're doing is mental. And it's expressed physically. We have to understand that. Not only that, but the order. The physical is second. You cannot change your physical world before you change your mind, because your physical world is a reflection of your mind. You cannot change the mirror before you change your outfit. You can't put something on, say, I don't like it, and then be looking at the mirror talking about what you're going to do for me. What you got for me? It would be nice if the mirror could make us look this or make us look that or more of this or less of that. It would be nice, but it's not a living thing. It doesn't have that power. It'd be nice if the airplane could do this. It's not a living thing. It don't have that power. It'd be nice if the house could maintain itself like we talked about. My man Corey, congratulations, brother, on your thing. It'd be nice if they, wouldn't it be nice if they, if the houses clean themselves? Wouldn't everybody like that?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, but it's not a living thing. It's not a living thing. Be nice if your body did this or that on its own. It's not a living thing. It's only made alive. House is not a living thing. It's only made alive. Your business is not a living thing. It's only made alive. And you are the life. So guess what? You want to change your business, want to change your health, want to change your life, want to change your home, want to change, you have to change. Because you're the only changer, the only chooser. You're the only one with a choice. Anybody ever bought a house and you get ready to move in the house, say, nah, I don't think this is going to work out? Right? Anybody ever got in the car and the car was like, nope, I don't think so. No, right? You are the living thing. You're the only living thing. Everything else is inanimate objects. They're not living things. They're programmed to look alive, but only a living thing can program it. Right? We are the only living thing in that respect. Right? Your world is a reflection of your life. Your life is a reflection of your consciousness. Your consciousness is a reflection of what you are aware of. And if you think you are Sparkle Bailey, if you think you're Gavin, if you think you're Lucky, if you think you're Veronica, you are going a lot. And if you think that's who you are, not what you're in, but who you are. It's okay to be what you're in. Otherwise, you would have never did it. You were God before you came in here. The old school connotative. You were God before you came here. You didn't come here by accident. Nobody put a gun to your head and be like, get in the car. No, nobody. You're not kidnapped. You're not taken. You decided to come here. So if you remember that you decided then, when did that ability to decide stop? Where did we lose that? When did we lose that? We lost it. We forgot. So now we're living here like this, disconnected, settling, questioning, lost, because we're thinking we're something different. Like when we lose our ID and we're like, oh God. And you realize, man, life gonna get hard without that ID. Right? And you trying to get one quick. Because that's the first thing everybody asks for any real thing. Your ID is what you're presenting to the world. And that is what you're getting access to. That's the part of the world you're seeing. Everything's already created. You're not creating anything.
Sparkle Bailey put in the chat, your world is a reflection of your life is a reflection of your consciousness.
Consciousness is life. What being unconscious, when somebody's unconscious, when they sleep real hard, is there some life coming out of there? Are you getting something from them for that? They can't help you clean up. They can't help you. They don't talk to you. They're asleep. Right? Consciousness is life. So therefore, your life is a reflection of your consciousness. And so if you clothe your consciousness like you clothe your body in the way you want to look and feel, that is how the world will show you. That's what it'll show you. You clothe yourself in wealth. You clothe yourself in success. You clothe yourself in safety. You clothe yourself in peace. You clothe yourself, you clothe yourself in the identity that you want the world to be reflected back to you. Isn't that one of the best things in the world when we got old enough to dress ourselves? When our parents couldn't tell us to put this thing right, when our parents couldn't tell us to put that thing on again, like, come on, like, right? When we can decide what we want to wear, we can go to the mall back in the day in high school, and you get a couple bucks and you get to buy your own things. Yeah, right? That's when you get that freedom to start choosing for yourself. It's a powerful thing. Right? That's it. Remember that back in the day before school? Boy, and you ironed your jeans up so hard, you could probably get a paper cut. Put so much starch on there, boy, it was tighter than a robot. Right? Shh. Right? Smoke coming out the iron and everything. Right? Literally to death. So fresh, boy. Yeah, right? That was it. Because what you wore mattered, didn't it? Didn't it make you feel a certain, weren't you excited for them clothes? Doesn't everybody go school shopping? Anybody like going to school? Anybody like, oh yeah, man, I'm about to go get some pencils today. No, school shopping, we know what we're talking about. Yeah, the entire starch can. The entire one. And I had a brother right up under me, and it was like, whoever got to the starch first, because my mom wasn't buying another can. Right? So whoever got to this starch and this iron first. And that's the thing, right? That meant a thing to dress yourself up. Because of how you're going to look and how you feel and the excitement about your clothes. You didn't even care about school. You just cared about your outfit and who you're going to see. Right? Well, it's the same thing. Get that same excitement and clothe yourself. Clothe your consciousness in the things that excite you. Buy you some new clothes. Buy you some new ideas. Get you a new consciousness of something. I am now this. This is what I'm putting on. This is what I want reflected back to me in the world. All right. Anything you want to say?
Oh no, I was just saying that the young ones are probably like confused about, wait, what's going on? What with the starch thing? But and that was it. Yeah.
They don't know nothing about starch, girl. They don't know nothing about starch, like, at all.
Yeah, man, I ain't mad at y'all. I'll take all my stuff to the cleaners now. So I ain't nothing wrong with it. I don't want to know nothing else. I learned enough and I don't want to know no more. So you guys go ahead and keep it pushing. Yeah, don't go back. It's hard work to get that crease right. It's hard work, boy. Shoot,
Yes.
you working harder to get to school than you are at school. Trying to keep that line straight and everything else, boy. So, all right.
So as they put on the chat, buy some ideas, some new ideas. In parentheses, books. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy you something new.
Yeah.
Right? Dress yourself the way you want the world to reflect itself back to you. Prosperity, abundance, health, peace, joy, ease, success, harmony.
And it's free.
And guess what? That's the last thing I'm gonna say. I got two more things to say. Number one, we were talking about that a little bit earlier. Your decision is between you and you in consciousness. That's why we love to, as we get older, we love it because we're more free. We get to make more decisions. We get to start picking what we wear, picking what we eat, picking what we participate in or don't, picking where we go or don't, driving a car. As our consciousness expands, our desire for freedom does as well, to express that consciousness. So when you clothe yourself with your desire, then that agreement is between you and you. When you desire to be wealthy, that agreement is between you and who you really are, who you think you are and who you really are. You don't need anyone else's help or permission for that. That's an agreement that you're making from the outside to the inside. And you're saying the inside knows how to make whatever I choose a reality in my world, a physical expression. And my job is to choose. It will do what I choose. So Gavin is the chooser. All of us physically, Cassidy is the chooser. We are the choosers. Our true self is the power that makes that choice become what we call alive or real or manifest. So our job is only to choose Just like that, when you got on that plane, Cassidy, when you got on that plane, all you could choose was what? What time you think you want to leave, where you think you want to go, and everything else. What didn't you get to choose? The pilot's name. There's a whole bunch of stuff you didn't get to choose. We still got on the plane, didn't we? Don't you? Right? So there's part of the equation that we're always not a part of. We don't have no problem with that. So if you want to be wealthy, right? That is the choice. You've now punching your ticket. Your consciousness is the flight attendant. It is the pilot. It is the FAA. It's all of it. It is all of that designed to get you from where you are to where you want to be, from what you're not expressing to what you're expressing. You don't know all the means and you don't need to. Just decide where you want to go and when you think you want to get there. As far as like, where am I going? Okay, and I want to leave at this time. You decide the particulars you need. But no matter how much you decide, you don't get to decide everything because that's not part of your job. In your humanity, that's not part of your job. And who you really are, that is part of your job. How you're going to do it is part of who you really are, okay? And where what you want to do is what we, and as names, get to pick. Yes.
Jim Marie's reminding you to give those tips about accepting.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, because that was the next thing I'm going into. But do we understand that? When you have a desire to be anything, that is an agreement between your Kari self and who you really are, between your persona and who you really are, between the physical and the non-physical. Those two are one. So if you can't get an agreement between the two, you get nothing. That agreement, what is another word for that? What is another word for agreement between two people? What's another word for that?
Contract.
Contract. Say it again.
Covenant.
Covenant, contract. What's another word?
The word.
Connection.
Connection. So Kari, you and your daughter have a
Bond.
Based on your
relationship.
Relationships require a lot of things. Because you're one. I and my father are one, right? Your physical body and your consciousness, your physical experience and your consciousness are one. What does it say? A double-minded mind, double-minded man, a double-minded mind is unstable in all its ways. Let it not think it will receive anything. We all have relationships, brother, sister, husband, wife, this, that. What happens when there's an argument? Right? There's two minds opposing each other. What do you get? Nothing. Until they become unified, till somebody has to agree. And if you agree to disagree, then you're not in unification. Both of you are not having the same experience. In consciousness, there's no way to separate them. Just like there's no way to separate yourself from your body. If you separate yourself from your body, what are you now? What happens?
You are dead.
Thank you. So if you separate your desire from your mind, that desire is
dead.
Thank you. So in order to make that desire alive, you have to become one with it. How do you do that?
Recognize that you're already it. Don't forecast it into the future.
Correct. Recognize you're already it. And so you have a relationship. There's two things, there's a lot of things, but there's two things a relationship requires. There's more than that, but right? Loyalty, right? Faithfulness to it, right? I am this thing no matter what. What if you're married at home and single when you're out? Now, this is just an example. This is not real because I don't want you to get in trouble. We don't need no trouble.
Yeah, thank you.
Right? What if you're one thing here, but something else somewhere else? How's that going to work out?
Yeah, it's not going to balance itself. That's not the word I'm looking for. It's going to negate itself, basically.
Yes. Yes.
He can't even say it straight. He's like, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's no way.
That whole situation's all bad.
Right? It's all bad. It doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. Well, then how are we going to be healthy and sick? Which one is it?
Right.
How are you going to be poor and rich? Which one is it? Is it hard to make money or is it easy? You got to pick. You have to be loyal and faithful. The only reason you get anything in a relationship is because you're loyal and faithful to it. You're committed. But guess what? But that's the way any relationship works, even the so-called bad ones. You ever had a friend who's sick and they call you all the time telling you how sick they are? You ever had friends that tell you how bad things are all the time? They're loyal and faithful to their situation, just like you're loyal and faithful to your situation. Loyalty, commitment, and faithfulness are what it takes to make a relationship work. But the relationship to you and diabetes requires your loyalty, faithfulness, and commitment to it. That's the only reason it came and the only reason it's staying. Just like your loyalty and commitment and faithfulness to wealth, prosperity, success, and everything else. How can you be safe at home and unsafe in a plane? How can you be? We got to pick. We're just committing adultery. It means we are entertaining the wrong thing in our mind. That's what that means. The Bible's never talking about the physical. It's not really talking about that. It doesn't talk about marriage the way people think it does. It's not talking about the physical. It's talking about how the physical is expressed as a result of consciousness. So when you entertain an opposing thought, and somebody who's not your wife or your husband, let's just say, when you entertain something in the innermost chamber of your mind that shouldn't be there, it says just what Kari said, it ain't gonna work out. It's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work. When you enter and when you want to be healthy and in your inner recesses of your mind, you're entertaining sickness, that's adultery. It's adultery. That's what it is. You're entertaining the wrong thing, the wrong idea in your mind. It's not going to work out, right? So you have to choose. Go ahead.
Oh, Jim, put in the chat, be true to who you are, own it, and work on the things as you learn and grow through life. And Kari was like, wow, that's deep, because I think putting it in that example.
Yes, yes, right? We want to have a successful business. That sounds good. But you know, most businesses fail in the first year. Ooh. That's adultery. I want to be wealthy, but you know, money doesn't grow on trees. That's adultery. Stop cheating. You're cheating. You're cheating on your desire. You are entertaining an opposing thought that would cancel out your loyalty, faithfulness, and commitment to this thing that you signed up for. You had the ceremony of desire. You felt that feeling of wanting to be this thing that comes up within you. And now I turn around and you went, who is that? What is that in your mind? Why are you entertaining that? And now, okay, well, go ahead and explain it to your desire. Go ahead and explain that to her. Go ahead and explain that to him. Yeah, tell your boss why you didn't come today and didn't call. Explain that to her. Explain that to him. You can't entertain opposing things and think you're going to get the outcome of a unification. You're not. You get the outcome of anything you're unified with, whether you want to call it good or bad, right or wrong. Yes.
I had a realization. If entertaining the wrong thing is keeping you from progress, you are cheating on your success. That's adultery.
That's adultery. That is what it is.
And then Sparkle Bailey, money does grow on trees. Well, technically, yes, it does.
But you are money.
Ooh.
At the highest level of thought, you are money. You are the source of all resources. You are this, everything comes from you. So now your only job is, if you realize everything comes from you, then what do you want to come? What do you want to say, let there be? That being in the book said, it said there was darkness everywhere. And that being said what? Let there be light. Did somebody else say it? Was there someone else around to say it? So if it didn't say it, would it have been said? So if it wouldn't have been said, then what would have happened?
Nada.
Nothing, right? Well, then take a look at your life. Is something happening? Is nothing happening? Is everything remaining the same? Is nothing changing? Do you know who you are? Did you say what you said knowing who you are? When you're a parent and you're talking to your kid, don't you say things a certain way because you know who you are? Whether it's sometimes firm, sometimes soft, sometimes loving, sometimes, but you're talking not only the words, but you're talking from a certain state of mind. You know who you are. So you know when you say something, it carries a different level of weight. So you are expecting it to be done. Anybody tell their kid, clean up their room, and they walk around saying affirmations? She's going to clean it up. She's going to clean it up. She's going to clean it up. Oh, Cassidy's going to clean it up. She's going to clean it up.
Cassidy's like, "Oh,
I know you keep your room clean. I know it. Don't let them hate on you on here. Right? Yeah. It's right. We talk to things differently when we know who we are. We talk to things differently when we perceive our level of authority. And I'm letting you know that you are the highest level of authority. And if you're unwilling because of ignorance, lack of knowledge of who you are, or because you're unwilling to believe you're that, you will suffer. You will suffer because you will go in consciousness from the being who made life to now the human who's just trying to make a living. Hey man, how you doing? Oh man, I'm just trying to make it. Same stuff, different day. No, slow motion is better than no motion. I hear all kinds. And boy, people think they're William Shakespeare, think they're Langston Hughes with it. Right? Understand that you are the source of everything. You are money. You are wealth. You are health. You are prosperity. You are the source that makes, if you are prosperity, that's why you can be prosperous. If you are wealth, that's why you can be wealthy. If you are health, that's why you can be healthy. The E's are just expressions of the source. They're just expressions. Wealth E is not possible without wealth, and it's not before wealth. Healthy is not possible without health, and it's not before health. So until you are willing to condition your mind to realize that I am the thing that I want to express physically, you are always going to be trying to chase the expression without having the identity, and you will not get it because you're not that. You only get what you are, not what you want, not what you like, not what you hope for and pray. You get what you are in consciousness. That's why it says, even I am, is he. And if you believe not, you will die in your sins. Your I amness, your consciousness, your awareness of being is the thing that you desire. And if you don't believe that, you will die in that mistake. You will stay as you are. All right. So now we're going to go over what I was telling June Marie, I believe that we were going to get into. All right. Who am I going to pick on now?
Monique.
Jana.
Let's see.
Jana.
Jolie.
Jolie, are you here?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. All right. Let's see here. Okay. So, Jolie, what do you do?
I work at a school district in the after school program with middle schoolers.
Okay. And okay. I want you to okay. So I want you to I want you to describe your job and your relationship with. So what you do is what you said. Okay, what is your relationship to that? What do you have and how do you have it?
I'm trying to understand the question. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So you have a job doing what you're doing, right? What is your relationship with that job? If you were describing someone you loved, if you're describing someone you didn't like, you would say, this is the thing, and this is how that's going. So you have your job, right? What is your
Yes,
relationship? How would you describe your relationship with your job?
So I believe my relationship with my job is to provide a level of support to the children, to be respectful, to have a level of commitment to what I am doing.
Okay. So you said to provide a level of support to who?
To the children and the staff.
And the staff. Where are you? Where are you in that statement?
I'm not sure because I'm thinking physically. So when you ask that question, I'm just thinking like, I'm at school. I'm thinking about the setting physically.
Mhm.
And I believe you're asking it differently.
Right. What is where are you in sentiment? You talked about you providing a certain, okay, where are you in that equation? Meaning, how can you provide to children and something? You're the provider. So then who are you? Like, who are you? What is your relationship in this situation? Where are you in here? How can you be doing all this stuff, but you not be involved? And if you're involved, how come there was no mention of you? So how are you giving or doing whatever you think you're trying to give or do to someone else, but you didn't mention the thing that gave? How can you mention giving without the giver?
What about what it provides her as well?
Correct. Provides her as well, provides her initially. Everything is for you first. It doesn't matter if it benefits your daughter. It doesn't matter if it benefits your son. It's for you. That's why you want it. Even though what you want, you give away to someone else, but you give them the thing, the feeling you get from the thing is for you. That's what made you want it in the first place. Right? So Jose, what is your relationship to what you're doing? Like kind of like Carr said, what's in it for you?
I'm not really sure.
So how can you get it? How many people, not you personally, but how many people work jobs that they're unfulfilled with, that they don't like?
Millions.
Millions.
Most of us.
So that means, so watch this. So watch this. That means they have something, right? But then their job, right, is what? What is their job?
To be miserable.
No, what is their job? They have something. They have something. This is they. This is them. This is the person. This is their job. What is their job? What is the word for job?
Task.
Nope.
Assign.
Obligation.
Nope. We talked about it.
Duty.
Nope.
Responsibility.
Nope.
Purpose.
Close.
Their
You have
contract.
a relationship.
The
It's a relationship between you and it. You work, you get paid. You show up to do something and you get something back. But if you get into a relationship with anybody and don't define the parameters, what do you feel?
Used.
Right? What do you get?
Whatever they
Nothing.
give you.
Nothing. It's fruitless. It's nothing. You get nothing. Right? So when I say, what do you have and how do you have it? It's a relation. This is you. Everything over here is a relationship. Everything. It does not matter what it is. It could be business. It could be your children. It could be your health. It could be your money. It could be anything. Anything that's not you, so to speak. It's you plus it. It's you. So when I ask you to define something, right? I'm saying this is you. You have something now. I have this. What is my relationship with that? How is it going? How can I define and describe that thing?
Does that include like addictions? You can say that's something you have, but it's not you.
Well, it's something you have that you have a poor relationship with, but you have a poor relationship with it for two reasons. Number one, because you have a poor concept of yourself. And so you're using something to try to improve your concept that it will never do that. And then number two, because the reason it's not working for you is because it's not the truth. It's true. You're really doing it, but it's not the truth. It's not salvation. It's never going to be enough. How much can you drink? How much can you smoke? How many shows can you watch? You just get to the point where either it kills you or you have to kill it.
Right.
Can't last forever because it's not the truth. It's not freeing. You're enslaved. You're doing a lifetime bid. Right? Right? So when I'm asking someone to describe something, right? I'm saying this is what you have. What is your relationship with that? So June Marie, you said you were talking about what you were saying earlier. Okay, so you have a daughter, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you have a daughter. What is your relationship with her?
We have a healthy relationship.
Okay. What does that mean?
So we communicate well.
Mhm.
We show each other affection well.
Mhm.
When she does certain things that I'm not happy with, she reminds me of how I was.
Mhm.
And that is frustrating for me.
Okay. So now watch this. Now that is what you have in your humanity. Now,
Right.
God changes. Let there be light. Now, I want you to describe to me your relationship as God. As a person, I can have anything.
She's gonna improve her attitude.
No. No.
You mean
I have what? What do you have? This is not about her. This is about you. Why does she have to improve her attitude? For what? Make you happy?
Because I have.
This is okay, but that was your choice. Make a choice for you. What is going on in your world? What do you have? How is it going for you?
It's affected me. Well, I'm allowing it to affect me.
Okay. It was dark in the beginning in the Bible. It was dark. God said, let there be light. You have darkness right now, meaning something you don't want or the way you want it. Describe to me light. What is light for you? I have, or this is how it's going for me. How's it going now? Change it.
I guess I struggle with not knowing how to change it because I feel like I've done everything in my power. So now I'm kind of just being silent, to be honest.
Everything in your power is what?
By talking to her, by communicating with her, by leading
Talking
by
to her
example.
and communicating is what?
It's everything you've thought of so far.
It's everything that is you thought of so far, but really, it's everything physical. You are God. You're unlimited. What do you mean? You don't have enough? You can't find different ways, but those ways aren't physical. Those ways are mental. It's different ideas that are expressed physically. Right? And so here's the thing. And I'm using you as an example, but this is for everyone. You cannot have a different physical experience if you can't even describe it or identify it or even conceive it. How did the person who invented the Apple phone not have the idea? Is that possible?
No.
How can you buy multiple homes without the idea?
Right. So I can start envisioning.
You're the creator.
Right.
Create.
Right.
You do not have to create from the state you're in as far as limitation. You create from the state you're in as far as a starting point. From here, I choose to be, choose to do, choose to have. I'm not limited from where I am. I'm just starting from where I am. But I will not limit where I go because of where I am. I'm just starting because of where I am. I no longer want to stay here. But because I'm here does not mean this is the only place I can go, or I can only go so far. I am God. I can create anything. So now my relationship is like this. I have a great daughter. My daughter and I communicate well. We always enjoy spending time together. We have a great relationship. Man, she tells me all kinds of stuff. I can't even believe half the stuff she tells me, but she tells me anyway. That's let there be. There is no limit to who you are. Therefore, there's no limit to what you can think. Therefore, there is no limit to what you can have, be, or do. We are only limited by our consciousness, not our physical ability. But when we limit our consciousness, we limit our physical ability. And when we limit our physical ability and we do everything we physically know, we are stuck. But it's not because our physical body can't do anymore. It's because we don't have a different thought to give it. We've run out of gas. Car's not going to go anywhere without any gas. Your body's not going to do anything without a thought. And if you're unwilling to change the thought, you're unwilling to change the destiny or the destination. You can't see something new. So our inability to have is not the inability to do, it's the inability to do the right thing, which is change our mind, create a different thought, renew your mind. That's why it says what? Be not conformed to this world, but be you changed by the renewing, not by the doing of your body. By the renewing of whose mind did it say? Anybody know? Yours. It didn't say hers. It didn't say hers. It didn't say, I'm doing this for the school and I'm doing this for me and the school's getting the benefit. I show up on time every day because this is who I am. This is who I want to be. This is what I think of myself. Right? This is the relationship I have with my daughter. It's like this, like this, like this, like this, like that. That is my agreement with me. And as long as I stay loyal, faithful, and committed to what I have decided this is, I don't have to talk to her. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to move in a state of mind that will allow me to talk to her from a state of victory, not a state of defeat. What are you going to say when you're defeated? What is a loser going to say to a winner? What is the sheep going to say to the wolf? What is a criminal going to say to the police? We have to be. Zamet, go ahead. Yes.
Please. Like I was giving the answer. Like, please. The sheep to the criminal to the cop. Like, please. Like, that's it.
That's it. All you can do is beg. Well, doesn't that sound like that's what's happening? Right? It's not personal. You see what happens when we're not using the laws of mind properly. The laws of mind are not for you to correct everyone in the world. The laws of mind are for you to rearrange yourself so that you can live and experience the life that you are willing to consider and willing to give life to. Everything exists. There's a state in your life where you and your daughter are pristine, top notch. You're all in. But if you're unwilling to consider that by saying, let there be, then that state still exists, but you'll be in the dark. You'll only be in the state that you're willing to consider. We can't change our life because we're not willing to change our mind. We can't even say what we want there to be. We're stuck on what is and trying to, what did we say last week, improve it. So I tell you, there's no self-improvement. That's cap. It's limiting. It's conditional. I'll get this if there are no limits. Except the ones that you're unwilling to entertain.
She said, got it.
Yes.
For the breakdown.
Yes. Right? So, Kari.
Yeah, what's up?
Tell me how your business is going.
Which
Tell me
one?
what your relationship with your business is.
I love it. I'm trying to make it my main thing. It does me well, and it allows me to employ my friends and pay them well. I love it.
Guess what? God said, I'm going to try to let there be light.
Nah.
Okay.
Let there be light.
There you go. So let's say that again. Let's say it again. What do you got?
I have a job, and I'm sorry. Wow. Let me take that back.
Mhm.
I have the ability to produce and create and bring to life people's ideas. And through that, I am able to employ, work with, and pay my close and trusted friends. It brings us all value as we create value, and it's making us wealthy. I love it. I have a relationship with that, and it is what I've created.
That's it. So you're a happily married man. That's because you're loyal, faithful, and committed. The same thing, be the same to that. Be loyal, faithful, and committed. That's it. Whether you're with her or not, whether wherever you're here or not, you would act the same way because you know who you are. It's not because of them, it's because of you. Your desire
Right.
doesn't come true because of it, it's because of you. Because of your loyalty, your faithfulness, you're committed to it, you are one with it. Last one, Gavin, baseball. How is it?
No, it's going good. I got games today. Feel me? We're going.
What is your relationship to baseball?
Like my first love, basically.
Okay. And what is the outcome of that?
Makes me want to play baseball more.
Okay. So I have a great relationship with baseball. I'm always successful, happy, healthy, and safe. I'm always doing well, right? I can always see the pitches I want to hit. You guys start decorating your life. When you're at the plate, don't you want to see the pitch?
Pretty much.
Don't you want to know? I don't know what you need to know, but whatever you want to know, don't you want to know that? Right? Corey, don't you want to know when you're running your business? I know everything I need to know and what to do about it. I always make the right decisions. And if there's anything I need to know, it'll be done and done perfectly. You know what, Drew Marie? I'm a great mother. I'm an amazing mother. I have an incredible relationship with my child. We love spending time with each other. We're always chilling. Everything is always working, right? We have such great communication and such a great time together. What do you have and how do you have it? That's everybody's homework. What do you have and how do you have it? It doesn't matter what life you want to talk about. This is my health. My health is this, or this is my money. My money is like this. This is my relationship. My relationship is like this. There's no trying. There's no hoping. No, you make it a matter of fact. Like you say, this is my husband. Describe your husband. Oh, he's tall. He's this, he's that. Describe your wife. Oh, she's beautiful. She's kind. She's whatever. Describe your money. It's this to me. Describe your health. It's that to me. Describe your relationship. It's that to me. There's no trying. There's no hoping. There's no wishing. That's not what gods do. Humans do. That's not what gods do.
And how do you have it?
And how do you have it? I have a daughter. Great. That's what I have. What is my relationship to her? How is the relationship? What is that? Cassidy, what do you have? And what is your relationship with it? How is it going? Describe your relationship to that thing. To yourself. You are creating, you're decorating, you are choosing, you're saying, let there be. That's who you are. If you can't describe it, you can't have it. Not because it has to be perfect description, but because you're the only describer. You're the only creator. If you don't create, it doesn't work. If you don't cook, there's nothing to eat. If you don't say, let there be light, you're in the dark. It's not because you did something wrong, but it's because you realize who you really are. You're the only one to say, let there be light. You're the only authority in your world. God didn't have anybody else to ask. Hey, hello, you know how long that echo would have been? Right? It's because you are the creator. You have to understand you are the creator. Create. I have this and it's like that. I have this and it's like that. I have this and it's like that. And let there be light. You will see that it's light. It's good and very good. You will see the outcome of that in your life. That has nothing to do with other people. Leave other people alone. Take care of yourself. Manage yourself. Manage your mind. This is what I have and this is how it's going. Just like that airplane. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know who's flying this plane, but I know where I'm going. I know what the outcome will be. There's certain parts I don't know, but I don't need to know. That doesn't stop me from getting there. What do I want? How do I have it? What do I want? How do I have it? Everybody do that. You can pick one thing. You can go down your whole life if you want, but at least pick one thing. I have a job, right? Okay, this is what it is. I have a child. This is how it is. Or I have health. This is how it is. I have money. This is how it is. And understand God ain't trying. God ain't hoping. God ain't wishing, because there is no one else to take it. God, are you trying? Well, here, let me do it for you. There is no other person to do it. That's you. So you describe your relationship with baseball. You describe your relationship with your mother, with your father, with your children, with your wife, with your husband, with your life. Describe it. I have a marvelous, successful business doing what I love to do. I have infinite clients who are matches made in heaven. right? They come to me. There's infinite as the ocean, and they come to me like the tide. That's something I say over my business. And Veronica will tell you, people come to me just about every day. Every day. There's people every single day. Somebody coming to me. Hey, can I? Hey, can you? Hey, do you have time? Hey, well, how? Constantly. And I put in all the work. I did all the marketing, advertising in my mind. I assumed that was going to happen for me. And I conditioned my mind. I strengthened and conditioned it. I renewed it, right? I programmed it and I repeated it over and over. I don't mean affirmations, but I kept that. I was loyal and faithful and committed to that state. And that state comes. I wanted my own business and I wanted it to be easy. I wanted my own business and I wanted my clients to come to me. I didn't want to market. I didn't want to advertise. It's not a bad thing. I just wanted my business my way. It's my business. Why can't I have it my way then? That's what I'm trying to tell you. You are God. You can have what you want the way you want it. You're the only one wanting, and you're the only one who wants it. It's for you. It's from you and for you. All right. I'll keep going. So let me stop. Is there anything anybody wants to say before I let you go? Thank you all so much for coming. Anything? I want to give you guys at least a minute or two or whatever to say. Anything.
Just wanted to personally say thank you for today. Today was really like helped for the mentality. I think now I'm mentally ready for this combine. I got a combine on Sunday in front of 20 colleges. So you know, the
So how did it go?
No,
how did it go? How did it go?
It went well.
There you go. It went well. Right? It went well, mom, right? It went well. You could imagine your mom talking on the phone to somebody. Girl, he was out there like, he was out there. Oh man, the coaches were talking to me the whole time he was there. They wanted to know who that kid was. You declare the end from the beginning.
Every college wants to.
Every college, man, I can't keep them off me.
Woo.
Right?
Oh.
My phone is blowing up. My mom's like, turn it off. Right? Like you declare, that's what I'm trying to tell all of you. Right? This is not positive thinking. This isn't just somewhere to be like, yay, and somewhere to start high on Saturday. And then, no, I want you to understand who you are. Right? How did it go? How did your relationship go with your daughter for the last month? How did your business go for the last month? How is your health going? You declare the end from the beginning because you are the end and the beginning. Right? And so when you can turn your conscious, that's what I mean by information. When you can now take this information and to turn your consciousness on, to tune it on, right? Boy, you'll be clicking and clacking. You'll be in a different state. You'll be in the state that does that. You'll perform because your mind is in a state that performs in a way that physically reflects your consciousness. It's not about doing physically. It's about changing mentally that changes the physical. So talk about your stuff in the end. That's why I said, how did it go? Kari, how did your business go this week? Sparkle Bailey, how did your business go? How is your health going? How's your health been the last month? Right? Veronica, the other one. Veronica, how did this go for you? Right? June Marie, how's your relationship with your daughter been the last 2 months? Right? Whatever, speak from the end, turn around, hindsight 2020, speak from the end. You have a start, which is your desire. You go to the end and look back. Describe it how you would describe it if you got what you wanted. Yes, Latoya.
I was just gonna say, just thank you. Like I have seen the mindset shift in myself, even in the way that I express and I share with others. Like I can't be focused on this because I'm focused on growth. So you just revolutionized my mind. Like I am going to speak abundance into my life because I am God, creator over my life. And what I say goes, like, as I say, so it be. Like, thank you.
Absolutely. So hopefully everybody understood that. Was that Monique?
That was Latoya.
Oh, that was Latoya. Okay. No, but I mean the hand up.
That was Latoya.
Oh, okay. It dropped off. Okay, cool. All right. So I don't want to keep everyone, but it's so important. Just understand you are the power that makes the choices. You are the power. So talk like you're the power. Talk like you're the parent. You're the parent over everything, over your health, over your money, over your relationships, over your success, over whether you work and you're happy or whether you're self-employed and you're happy, over your day, over your car, over your finances. You are the power that says, let there be, and describe it and declare it as you desire it, not as it is currently. No, you're not struggling with this. No, you're not struggling with that. You are this now. Move in your mind. Don't try, don't struggle. God does not do that. Humans do. God just does. I am this now. And I'm going to remain loyal and faithful and committed to this concept of myself until this concept is fully manifested in my world, becomes a physical expression. Period. I'm loyal, faithful, and committed. That's what all relationships take, whether it's with a person or whether it's with your health. It's a relationship. That's it. It's a principle, same. It's the same. All right, I'm gonna let you go because I swear I'll be sweating more and I just can't do it. Right? Thank you all.
Have a great
That was awesome,
weekend.
brother. Thank
Appreciate
you.
you. Thank you, coming. Congratulations again, bro.
Coach. Keep it coming.
Thank you all. Appreciate you all for coming.
Thank you, Coach Lucky.
Before Vero-
Real quick,
Yes.
I was gonna say this to Vero, but I'm saying this to you. I'm gonna switch it up. Coach Lucky, you got a real one. You got a real one on your arm. And I appreciate y'all's partnership so much. You got a real one on your arm. This girl is rooting for you in rooms you are not in. There are rooms that you're not in that we're in every single day where other people are rooting for you. They're not even in this space right now. Other people are rooting for you. Y'all keep growing, keep glowing, and keep going. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for these reminders. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you all for coming always.
Yeah.
It's always an honor,
That-
pleasure, and privilege. Yes.
That's real talk. I wasn't gonna say that, but I'm gonna have to second that as well. That is true. What you guys have is special, and it's growing and keep flourishing. What I originally was gonna say, is just man, thank you. There was a lot that I picked up on today. One of the things I really walked away with was, if you are basically cheating on your goals, and it's like you're cheating on yourself. It's like, why would you do that? The whole adultery thing. Why would you go ahead and like Will Smith says, kick yourself in the balls? It just doesn't make sense. So I really love that, because when it comes to with me and my business and job, I always find myself kind of mentally fighting against what I'm going to do, go left or go right. It's like, don't fight yourself. You know what it is. Keep on track. So I needed to hear that today. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
And I'm going to chime in and alter it just a tad. You are those rooms, brother, because you're in my mind and you're in my heart. And the lessons that we learn week to week and implement, I take them with me, will speak for self. So you are in those rooms and you're highly welcome.
Thank you so much. And thank you both. Thank you all. It's an honor and pleasure to be here with you all. Thank you. Awesome. All right. Have a great week. Apply it. Apply it.
We got homework.
Apply it. I'm checking. I'm failing everybody if it's not right.
Hey, Coach, I'm gonna be out there in California soon. I'm gonna try to link up with you guys.
Yeah, do
Got
that.
some time.
Do that. Yeah, we'll make time.
Yes.
All good. All right.
Let Lucky know if you need anything in SoCal.
What's that?
Go ahead. Say it again. Veronica. He didn't hear you.
Oh, you didn't hear me?
No.
I said, let Lucky know if you need anything in SoCal.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I just need some time. I need some time. That's what I need. If you guys got time, we're trying to connect. Oh, that's right. You got connection to SoCal. I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I'm mildly famous down there. You understand?
He's mildly.
When will this recording be available?
My goals are to get it done by Sundays. So
Okay.
And last week's the mashup is up correctly now. So thank you for your patience.
Thank you. Just thank you. Take your time. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Bye.